Hi, Harish, how are you?
Hi, sir. I'm fine. Thank you. How about you?
Okay, wonderful, Harish. So today, the topic which we have chosen for the discussion is something which is very less understood by many of the candidates aspiring to go for higher education abroad, and it's a very, very important topic actually, and very less information even available on YouTube and other medias. So we should discuss about it. And the topic is what is MS research? That is MTech
Yeah.
research, which we call, right? So,
Yeah,
so
research
uh,
more.
Research master, yeah. So let's proceed ahead with this, Harish. So please tell us about more about this.
Yeah, I'll just try to share my screen.
Yeah,
Uh, yeah, I think it
this is
is
visible. Yeah, it is
visible.
visible now. Yeah,
Okay. So I'll start with the introduction. So basically, what is a research master's?
yeah.
Okay. So it is slightly different from a regular master's. So in this kind of a master's program, you are mostly working with research, independent research. That is the most focus of it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, some questions may arise like how it is different from PhD then. It is
Mm-hmm.
not as intense as a PhD program,
Mm-hmm.
and the duration is also less than a
Mm-hmm.
regular PhD program.
Mm-hmm.
That is what basically research masters is, and it
Mm-hmm.
can be like a masters of research or masters of science by research. They can call it like that.
Mm-hmm.
Now, it is ideal to prepare students who are looking for PhD because it is just like a beginning step of getting introduced to research. I'm sure like when people do regular master's program in India, they do not do a lot of like research work. They just do it for a formality, most of them. And but this one you get more exposure to the research world, which would help you to pursue your career in PhD if you are interested. And
Mm-hmm.
basically, it is more common in science and engineering, mainly the STEM domain, where they offer the research masters. And this has been offered quite a lot in Europe. Uh, Not as much as PhDs, but yeah, they started releasing advertisements and all on that. Now, coming to the duration and the financial considerations, very subjective, but these are very generalized information that I'm telling you. So the duration could be about 1 to 2 years when you are working full time, of course. And like I know few of the people who have a 1 year research masters, and I know few of them who are having a 2 years research masters. So it actually depends on the project. What is the demand of the project? How much time do you need to finish that project? And all that factors.
Mm-hmm.
Now, coming to this is the most important part. So they kind of pay you as similar to PhD almost in terms of salary or scholarships, depending on the country. Okay. So it can vary up to like 15,000 to 35,000 USD per year. Like for Ireland, I can say you it is most likely like 20,000 euro to 25,000 euro, that range in Ireland, what they pay annually. And the good part is you are covered with your tuition fees. And imagine like they charge a lot of tuition fees for masters. If you are coming for a regular master's program, it can they can charge a lot of money. But for this one, they will pay your money. They will pay your funds. They will pay your tuition fees. And on top of that, you can have some additional income. For example, your TA duty and all that. You are allowed to do that when you are doing a master's. I know some people do invigilation and teaching assistantship for extra money, which is kind of handy. Okay, so moving on to the next point, academic and professional expectations. So, what are the expectations? Let's see. You conduct original and publishable research for about a year, and don't worry about that, you would be given proper support and proper guidance for that. And considering it is a 1 year or a 2 year project, they would expect you to publish something and produce a thesis. Okay, now again, don't get scared by just listening producing a thesis. It is not as intense as a PhD thesis, It is a
Understood.
very mini version of it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And the good part is you develop critical thinking and project management and writing skills, which are extremely important if you look forward to a PhD at least or any
Mm-hmm.
job. Like when I talk to people who are working in environment domain in the private sector, when they ask them what kind of job do you do, they say that we work on EIA, which is environmental impact assessment. It is kind of a domain in environment, and for that you need to write a lot of reports, and for that you need writing skills. So this can improve your writing skills, and you
Mm-hmm.
participate in academic and seminars and conferences. Good news is that they will pay for it. So they will fund your movements, your travel to other countries, and then you can attend the conferences and seminars. Okay, so what are the merits and demerits? The merits are you get specializes in a specific area, which would help you to pursue your career in PhD,
Mm-hmm.
enhances career for PhD opportunity, develops highly valued skills. For example, someone might be working in a software or someone might be working in laboratory experiments and all that. You gain these experiences by doing research masters, which is not as intense as you get that in a regular masters. So you have more exposure, you have more skills to learn in a research masters. But the only challenge is that it can be a bit competitive because
Mm-hmm.
usually they don't pay for masters, right? So
Mm-hmm.
that is the reason why it is a bit competitive. But no worries, if you are good credentials, definitely worth looking forward to this one. Okay, so to conclude, I'd say like it is ideal for those who are having some research interest and looking for PhDs. Having said that, it is not mandatory that you should go for a PhD afterwards. For example, some people just want to explore the opportunity abroad. They can try this one and come and look for job opportunities afterwards. I personally know someone who had similar interest. So he came to do a research master's. Now he doesn't want to do a PhD, rather he's looking for job opportunities. So that is also possible. So consider alignment with career goals and funding availability. Yeah, this is a good deal that they are like they would fund you. So you do not have to worry about all that things, like you do not have to pay for it. And it is fairly good money that they pay. So independent and self-driven work. This is actually like if you are attending a PhD interview, the thing that they would like to hear you or they would train you for as an independent researcher. Okay, so this is like a beginning of that stage. So you would be self driving your own work. Okay, and it is a valuable step for those who committed to advanced knowledge. So basically, like towards PhD and all that, if you want. Having said that, like I mentioned before, it is not restricted to PhD. You can explore industry opportunities as well. That's why it is advancing knowledge. Yeah,
Wonderful. Okay.
that is from
Okay,
my
so
side.
wonderful, Haresh. So I have a couple of quick questions. If we can, on behalf of the students, I'm sure some questions will pop up their mind also. My first question is like, in which countries do we get this opportunity of a research masters?
It is all over the world. For now, I see in Europe mostly
Okay.
these opportunities.
Mm-hmm.
So they kind of advertise, and I think the good way to get updated in those advertisements is to broaden your network over LinkedIn. They keep on
Okay.
posting there.
Okay. So they will typically post it as research master for 1 year,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Okay.
1 year or 2 year, depending on the
Yeah.
duration. Yeah.
Yeah, and Harish, what is the benefit to the university for that? Okay, for students, you told that okay, you get the scholarship, you get the salary and everything.
Yeah.
But what benefit it gives to university if it is having research masters also and master of research MS also?
Yeah, that is a very good question. Actually, like you see, sometimes PhD projects are really big, okay, and
Mm-hmm.
they take a lot of time. For
Yeah.
example, if I'm a professor and I have the funding, and I
Mm.
want the job to be done as soon as
Mm.
possible.
Yeah.
What I would do is that instead of hiring a single individual to do a
Mm.
PhD for 4 years, I would
Mm.
hire two research masters and divide the project into two parts.
Okay.
So,
Mm.
parallelly, the project is forwarding, and the same time, it is research output for the professor. So they are
Mm.
growing their profile as well by saving
Mm.
time. So that I think
Okay.
that is one of the reason why it is getting like popular these days, which was not
Mm.
before.
So,
So
so
it's
can we say master research by master, you work more closely with the professor on his project work compared to MS students for 2 years. He may be engaged in his theoretical activities also, other courses also.
yeah,
So can we say something like that?
yeah, definitely we can say that it is
Mm.
more
Mm.
intense
Professor
collaboration
oriented.
than particular. Yeah.
Mm. So do we have this kind of thing anywhere in India as of now? We have MTech, we have
Uh,
tech research, but not 1 year course.
no, not to my knowledge. I'm not sure.
Mm.
Not to my knowledge. No, I don't think so.
Okay, so are we, my next question is, are we compromising somewhere? Though you have already mentioned that if you want to do PhD, it is one of the wonderful thing for you. But are we compromising anywhere on our career if we do not go for 2 years program, but we choose to go for research by master 1 year program?
Yeah, actually, another thing that I forgot to tell you is that when you do a master's program, like a research master's,
Mm-hmm.
you can, there is a high possibility that if the professor that you are working with, if he or she is satisfied with you, it can be translated to a PhD program further.
Okay,
It can
okay.
be carried forward. So, for example,
Mm-hmm.
if let's say it is a hypothetically 2 years program and the
Mm-hmm.
professor is happy with you,
Mm-hmm.
so he can extend your contract to next 2 years and
Mm-hmm.
aid you with some other funding, and then you can
Mm-hmm.
finally do your PhD without being searching around the internet where to apply, not to apply.
Mm. My question was like, suppose I did my research by master in one particular university. Now I'm looking for American universities for PhD. So will the university ask me like, see, you're not done 2 years program, you've done 1 year program, something like that.
No, 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 not at all.
Mm.
The
Mm.
only the thing that matters for PhD hirings is the research
Mm.
relevancy. If they
Mm.
see that you have prior research experience from
Mm.
somewhere, they will
Mm.
definitely consider you.
Mm.
It is not a compromise to a regular master's. I wouldn't
Mm.
say that at all. No,
Mhm. Okay, so you said it is very competitive.
it
So,
is.
in my opinion, students are not much aware about it. So, and if Indians are not much aware about the things, it cannot be competitive competitive in the world universities because who else will apply? So, Harish, that is my dilemma only. Maybe very silly question, but I like love to ask silly questions. So, my question is like, बच्चों को जब पता नहीं है तो ये competitive कैसे हुआ? And second is, what credentials a student should have to get into this program?
That's a nice question. So it is competitive in a way that a lot of students look for masters to do
Mm-hmm.
masters program, and it is a masters program, but slightly intense masters, right?
Mm-hmm.
Also, you do not do a lot of coursework like a regular masters program.
Yeah.
So
Mm.
in that aspect, because they are funding you a lot of
Mm.
money,
Maybe
that
number
way
of seats are limited, Harish, is it?
very limited. So
Mm.
in regular universities, they offer, let's say, 80 master seats per batch per year. Here
Mm.
it would be two
Okay.
or three
Mm.
maximum. That way it
Mm.
is competitive. It is limited number of seats, and because
Mm.
they are funding you, they receive a
Mm.
lot of applicants.
Mm. Yes. Okay. So my last question to you is now, which student should target MTech, this research master? I mean, who should look for this option?
Sorry, can you please?
So, with what objectives a student should look for this option? I mean, the student who are going abroad for doing job after masters, or who looking for PhD. So, what is the job situation scenario after masters? This particular program.
Okay. Firstly, I would say someone who is looking forward to a PhD. And PhD can be really challenging because it demands a more intense of your background. However,
Okay.
research master is not, the hiring of research masters is not as intense as the
Yeah.
PhD hiring. So
Mm.
those students can go who think that, okay, I have compromised in my career before
Mm,
some time back. So he can try
mm,
a research master instead of a PhD and then further can try to convert it.
okay.
Firstly.
Mm,
Secondly,
mm,
some people they desperately want to go out and for higher education, but they can't
mm,
afford it. And they have good
mm,
credentials. Like they want to
mm,
do masters and
mm,
they can't afford it because the high prices. So those
mm,
students who are having strong interest in doing research, who are currently in India and trying to do a regular masters, but they cannot do it because of the financial problems, they can
mm,
look forward to this one.
mm,
But the choices after doing a research masters, I
mm,
repeatedly told it is not limited to PhD. You
mm.
can jump into industries as well. So you
Okay.
have the option. So
Mm,
it can be a gateway to move out from the country that you are in.
okay. Mm, okay. So overall, this is a good opportunity not only for PhD, pursuing PhD, but also for industrial jobs after that.
Yeah, yeah,
Wonderful. And as you mentioned, Harish, like very good scholarships, as good as maybe even PhD, you can get it. So looks like you are giving fast track, option for you in academics. Also, you complete in 1 year, and then you land up in PhD in 3 years. You can do PhD from Europe also.
yeah,
Yeah. So I think we have more or less covered this, Harish, all the topics, and looks like it's a wonderful opportunities. And next couple of more interactive sessions, we'll come out with some more such opportunities. Now, let me request you for the next interaction, Harish, if we can come out with some these kind of research masters opportunities. As you said, okay, we can catch this on the LinkedIn profile of the professor. Maybe we can show the
yeah,
students that this is how you can get master research degrees, maybe from the
yeah,
LinkedIn profile of the professor, maybe from the websites, maybe dedicated sites, something like that. So that we tell them, okay, this is how this thing is advertised. That will be wonderful for them.
yeah. I try to gather that information. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Harish.
Thank you so much.